Last time we managed to defeat the Dragon Gym leader Raihan, securing our last and final badge. After taking the train and breezing through another route, we make it to Wyndham, where we'll be fighting for the championship. We take care of some formalities before entering our first match. We'll be facing off against one of our rivals here, Marnie. Just like everybody else in this tournament, she's aiming for the championship as well. Unfortunately for her, we are not going to be pulling any punches here. Again, I'm so sorry that I didn't turn on the battle animations. She sends out her light part and immediately uses Torment on us. And we set up with a nasty plot and finish her off with a Moonblast. She sends out her Morpeko and we can't really attack her this turn, so we put her to sleep before knocking her out with a Moonblast. Unfortunately, it's not much of a fight at this point. We are over leveled due to the fact that we just need to get past Raihan in that double battle, so it's pretty much rinse and repeat until we meet her Grimmsnarl. Once we reach her Grimmsnarl, her final Pokemon, we decide to Dynamax to match her Dynamax and go for the Max Starfall. I've really got to say that the Gigantamax Grimmsnarl form is just awesome. Unfortunately, her Grimmsnarl stood no chance against our Hoothoot, and we managed to take our first win in the tournament. With our final battle with Marnie done, it's time to face off against Hop, our eternal rival, once again. Unfortunately for him though, we are just way stronger than him this time. His double is no threat to us, so we immediately start off by setting up a nasty plot. He doesn't even use this opportunity to attack us, and we immediately finish him off with a Moonblast. And unfortunately for him, his other Pokemon don't fare any better either. We do end up setting up a nasty plot against the Snorlax just to make sure that we knock it out with one hit. Even though Corviknight resists Fairy type moves, we still manage to knock it out in one hit. And with Corviknight knocked out, it's time to deal with his Inteleon. We Dynamax to match his Dynamax and go for the Max Starfall again here. And with this Max Starfall, we effectively crush his hopes and dreams of ever becoming a Pokemon champion here. In all fairness though, he was a great challenge to us throughout this run, and I commend him for his efforts. With Hop out of our way though, it's time that we do some of the story fights. We learned that Leon has gone missing, and it's up to us to go find where he's at. And with the combined might of Hop, Marnie, and Piers, we infiltrate the Rose Tower. After a long elevator ride, it's time to face off against Olina. And it's here where she finally reveals just how crazy she is. She sends out her Frostlass, which is a ghost ice type, which means that she has the type advantage over us. However, we are just vastly overleveled for her. We set up the nasty plot like we normally would, and then go for the Moonblast to knock it out. However, we do get burned from the Will-O-Wisp. Milotic is a particularly tanky Pokemon, so it takes more than one Moonblast to knock it out. And it's pretty much from here on I decided to goof off a little bit, and I ended up hyper focusing on trying to use Dream Eater for some reason, so we did end up throwing this match. This time around I've learned my lesson, I'm not going to mess around too much, and I'm going to drop Dream Eater. This time around, instead of starting off with a nasty plot on her Frostlass, we go for the throat with a Air Slash. The Frostlass flinched and we are able to move on to her Milotic, where we set up. Unfortunately for her, an Aqua Ring and a Safeguard does nothing for her team, and we're able to get off two nasty plots without taking any damage at all. From this point on, we're pretty much able to one-shot all of her Pokemon all the way through. After we knock out Sarina, she's down to her final Pokemon, a Garbodor. Of course, as always, we Dynamax to match her Dynamax, and we go for the Max Airstream. I do have to say that Gigantamax Garbodor is absolutely bonkers looking. Despite its impressive looks, it does fall to our Hoothoot. With Olina out of the way, it's time to talk to our favorite twist villain yet again. He reveals his evil plot to, well, save the world. It's really a little bit convoluted, but whatever, it's time to get back to the tournament. This time around, it's me against the gym leaders, but not before we have to face off against BD again, who interrupts the tournament to battle us. Unfortunately, we aren't given the option to decline, so we have to take him out. He sends out his Mawile first. We get intimidated, but it doesn't really affect us too much because it only affects our attack stat. And we set up a nasty plot and then follow that up with an air slash. And from here, we pretty much sweep the rest of his Pokemon. Until we meet his final Pokemon, Hatterene. We instantly go for the Dynamax to match his Dynamax. The Gigantamax Hatterene form is truly kind of unique and terrifying. But with one Max Airstream, we're able to take it out. With BD out of the way, it's time to commence with the tournament, where we will battle gym leaders once again. For the first official match, we'll be facing off against Nessa, the water gym leader. She was the first gym leader that gave us trouble, so it's time to settle the score once and for all. She starts off by sending out a Galissapod, which I'm not too afraid of because it's a water/bug type, and we pretty much tank a hit to set up a nasty plot, and we follow that up with a super effective air slash. And with that, we're able to sweep most of our Pokemon. Once we get to the Pelipper, we decide to use another turn to set up another nasty plot. However, her Pelipper uses Tailwind, which makes her Pokemon faster. The Water Pulse doesn't deal too much damage, nor does it confuse us, so we move on without any problems. We Dynamax to match her Dynamax once again. Unfortunately for us, the Tailwind makes her Dreadnought faster than us. The Max Rockfall doesn't really deal too much damage, and we're able to survive. And with one Max Starfall, we knock out her Dreadnought, and we get to move on into the tournament. With Nessa down, we are one step closer to the finals. Our next opponent is B, the fighting gym leader. And you can pretty much guess how this fight goes, considering we have a type advantage and a level advantage. We do what we almost always do, which is tank a hit in order to get a nasty plot off and then sweep. Unfortunately, there's not much she can do here because she doesn't have any fighting types that resist flying, so this is neither a very interesting or competitive fight. Once we finally get to our Machamp, we Dynamax to match her Dynamax. And we go for the Max Airstream. A single Max Airstream is more than enough to take down that Gigantamax Machamp. With B defeated, we only have one more match before the finals. This time around, we face Raihan once again. Ironically enough, he's easier this time around, as instead of a double battle, this is just a singles battle. This time around, Raihan really amps up the weather tactics. Hoothoot's ability Insomnia prevents it from falling asleep, and we continue to nasty plot one more time before sweeping his team. This time around, he has more dragon Pokemon than ever, but because of how strong our Hoothoot is, we don't really get to see their strength. It's only a matter of time before we run into his Duraludon again, in which case we did what we did last time, which is to Dynamax to match his Dynamax and then use a Max and with that max starfall we defeat his Duraludon. It's actually a bit of a shame that this wasn't a double battle, as the last battle was actually fairly interesting. With Raihan defeated, the only thing left to do is defeat the champion himself. However, the twist villain is back again. Oh boy. And just like that, we have to pause our match with the champ in order to deal with him one last time. Chairman Rose uses a lot of steel type Pokemon, but with a few nasty plots that doesn't seem like too much of an issue. Escavalier's part bug, so we're able to hit it neutral with an air slash. He then sends out his Kling Klang. We do set up another nasty plot, but we do end up having to pay for it with a critical hit. But with 2 nasty plots, we should be able to breeze through this fight. His last Pokemon is a Copperajah, and it's gonna Dynamax, so we immediately Dynamax to match its Dynamax. However, 1 max Airstream is just not enough to take it out, and we managed to take a max Steel Strike too. We get pretty low here, but I'm more than confident that we'll be able to finish this fight with the next max Airstream. Alright, after saving the day, it's time to go back to the stadium and fight for our championship. With all the distractions out of the way, it's finally time to fight Leon the champion. He does his Charizard pose, and before you know it, the battle begins. Leon does have some pretty high level Pokemon compared to the others, so we are in for a fight. Not only that, but he also has some pretty strong Pokemon as well, such as his Aegislash. Predicting the King Shield, I decided to go with a Nasty Plot here. Following that, I decided to use Hypnosis in order to set up more safely. We do set up a Nasty Plot here, but Aegislash wakes up and we have to take some damage. From here, instead of going for Hypnosis, I just decided to tank some damage in order to set up a Nasty Plot and an Agility. We'll definitely need an Agility in order to outspeed some of his other Pokemon. Aegislash in his shield form is particularly tanky, so we are unable to take it out with 1 hit. However, 1 more Moonblast should do it. Despite taking some damage from the Aegislash though, I think we should be able to sweep here. Next up, we're against his Dragapult, which is normally faster than us, but with an Agility we managed to outspeed it. Things are looking pretty good as we're able to knock out that Dragapult with 1 hit, and now we're onto his Haxorus. Since Moonblast is a fairy type move, we managed to knock it out with 1 hit as well. Next up, he sends out his Cinderace, and here is where I find out that I made the same mistake that I made against Gordy. After realizing my tactical error there, I decided to come back around and switch out my moves a little. This time around, I switched out Hypnosis with Air Slash simply because we need a neutral hitting move against his fire type Pokemon, and because Hypnosis really did nothing in that last fight. This time around, we decided to set up against the Aegislash straight up. After setting up 3 Nasty Plots and 1 Agility, we start to go on the offensive here. Yet again, we still don't have enough firepower to take out the Aegislash in shield form with 1 hit, and Leon decides to use a full restore on his Aegislash. However, since he's last used an attacking move, he's stuck in sword form and we're able to one-shot him now. From here on, things look pretty much just like last time. We're up against his Dragapult again, which we immediately knock out with a Moonblast. Leon congratulates us for using a super effective move, which at this point doesn't really make too much sense. He sends out his Haxorus once again, and once again we knock it out with 1 Moonblast. And just like that, we're onto his 4th Pokemon, Cinderace, the Pokemon that knocked us out last time. This time around we're able to knock it out in 1 turn using Air Slash. He sends out his Seismitoad, which we're able to also knock out with an Air Slash. And we're finally down to his final Pokemon, his beloved Charizard. It's kind of strange that the Galar champion uses a Kanto Pokemon as his signature Pokemon, but I digress. And just like that, we Dynamax one last time to match his Dynamax. We go for the max airstream here, and it's more than enough to knock out his Gigantamax Charizard. And just like that, we managed to defeat Leon and become the Galar champion with a baby owl Pokemon. And at long last, our run ends here. Again, thank you all for watching. This was my first challenge run of Pokemon ever, and it was certainly a challenge at some points, but eventually it got really sort of easy towards the end. I know it wasn't all that interesting, but it was fun. I may do another Pokemon challenge run in the future, but as of right now, I'm kind of burnt out on the whole process of filming and editing and all that. It's certainly a lot of work to make. As always, leave a like and a comment if you really enjoyed the series, and I'll see you guys next time.